For those of you looking for an A350, while Aerosoft may not be able to help you, Digital Flight Dynamics certainly will. They've released a big update with their A350 in the form of a YouTube video delving right into the systems. In today's video I talk about it, go through what I see with this project, and of course share with you some of the video, but I do recommend you go and watch it anyway. It's quite a good watch, and coming in at 11 minutes there's plenty of detail to take in. Without further delay, let's get right into it. Okay, so on the video we have 3 developers going through the project in their areas of which they specialise in. We have Creon, the Ryzen and Maweed. I do apologise if I said any of them wrong. Now they share some really good details about their part of the project. They start off looking at the primary flight display and that area, and even going for a little bit of a flight. Now the flight model does not truly represent the A350 at the moment, it's a kind of placeholder to test the systems, but as I've said before and I'll say it again, the systems are what make or break a project. You know, we've seen many projects out there that have completely aced the modelling, it's looking really good, they get the systems and then they just crumble because they haven't got the speciality to code in an aircraft. It's really the only bit of flight simulation that kind of overlaps with real life, the systems, so it does take a lot of work. When you're modelling, you know, you're not modelling with carbon fibre and anything like that, you're on Blender, but when you're dealing with systems, you've got to go through the same process as they do in real life, for the most part anyway. Of course there is a few outliers with that, but if you're getting a study level aircraft, then you've got to reflect real life systems, and for many development teams that can be very difficult. But the primary flight display and that area is clearly doing very well. He puts the flaps down to show us how that works and how the aircraft responds in terms of systems. So far so good with this one, and one thing I would say is not the default Microsoft Flight Sim primary flight display from the A320 that's been ported in. It's been completely handmade, even showing you the aircraft stress arrows, the danger zone arrows. That to me is already really promising, but it only gets better from here once they take a look at the ECAN display, which deals with hydraulics and electrics. Now the Ryzen and Maweed both go through this. Quite surprisingly they go into a lot of detail, to the point where I had to watch it a few times to make sure that I kind of got it. They're building the likes of the hydraulic and electric systems down to the millimetre and basing it on a real physics engine. This results in a high accuracy as opposed to some other aircraft which often use a table-based system. This should result in a highly realistic simulation. For example, if a hydraulic pump fails, the corresponding system will fail, such as a gear or flaps. That Ryzen also talks about the fact that the actual state of the aircraft in terms of where it is in the sky will impact the hydraulic system because of the physics-based engine recreating where the hydraulic liquid would actually be. Hopefully I summed that up pretty well for you guys. It's dealing with quite high spec stuff here, especially to the standard flight simmer. But that to me really sticks out, the idea that they're sort of recreating physical hydraulic tubes in the aircraft. I know they're not actually there, I imagine, but they're recreating that system, as opposed to just like making it press a button and always working and not being able to fail. Basic aircraft use, that really sticks out to me. Now we move on to the final kind of showcase in the video, with Maweed going through some of the electric system. He talks about the fact that emergency power systems are modelled, including the ram air turbine, which is that little thing that sticks out and spins, and that the buses and generators are modelled successfully to provide continuous power. That doesn't mean they're always providing power, I mean in the case of if a bus fails, then the aircraft will reroute the electricity to provide a safe connection. It's really impressive what they're doing, and I'm sure the kind of footage on the screen will have shown you that. It's nice to see a team working on the systems before the modelling. It's not to say they haven't modelled, we'll talk about that in a minute, but systems are always the part that makes or breaks a project, and for that reason I've got a very high confidence in this aircraft. In addition to that, there's A350 pilots on the team. There seems to be a good bunch of developers also on the team, which is resulting in a really high quality aircraft. Now, it's not to say we'll be getting this anytime soon. By the looks of it, in the current state, you'll probably be waiting around a year still, so not until 2023 unless they come out and shock me. But they're certainly offering something different. At the end of the day, this is a freeware open source project, and that for me is something that sticks out. A freeware open source project with a bit of organisation, and I think that also stems from who they're partnering with. They've been working with the fly-by-wire team somewhat, and of course the Synaptic Simulations team, who are working on an A350, and I think that's pivotal to a successful project. You know, you've got to be willing to work with other developers, and bearing in mind it's a freeware and open source project, they've got even more reason to. They might as well share some expertise, whether that means giving it to other developers or indeed receiving it. I'm very excited to see this project. Last thing I share is a few modelling photos, nothing too extreme, nothing too much that stands out, but it's nice to see that there are people in the background working on the modelling as they delve right into the systems. We get to look at the gear assembly, which is looking quite well detailed, so that's pretty promising, and indeed a front shot of the exterior of the cockpit moving down towards the fuselage. Obviously a lot of modelling work still needed, and they haven't got many more photos than this. So what you're seeing really at the moment is this, but in fairness, this update on their YouTube video was more about systems, electronics and hydraulics, and I commend them for that. Is this a project with the end result of an aircraft being in the hangar? Well, I think it is, but you guys may disagree. If you do, share your thoughts down below. For me today, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. There's the three kind of main aircraft I wanted to get done this week. We've had the 737, we've had this A350, and indeed a 757 that popped out of nowhere. So these have been slightly longer videos delving into more detail, but I hope you've learned something. Last thing I want to say is my Amazon affiliate links are down below. They're the equipment I use to fly, film and edit. I do recommend you take a look at some of them if you're looking into upgrading your setup. You normally find a good deal down there anyway, and of course it's an affiliate link, so you would be supporting me. Also, thank you to my first class channel members. They get a shout out on the screen now. You can join to become a first class flyer for £3 a month to get loyalty badges in the comments, custom emojis, photo and status updates on the community tab, as well as of course shout outs in videos, of which they're getting now, and an exclusive Discord channel on my Discord server, which I've linked down below. From me today guys, have a good day or night wherever you are. Bye bye.